What is up, guys? This is Life of Aoife, and today I am going to show you how to set up your own DAO on Ergo by using Paideia. Now, if you are new to Ergo, never mind what a DAO is. Here's a quick overview. Ergo is a proof-of-work Layer 1 EUTXO blockchain, and as many of us believe, it's unparalleled in many regards and what Bitcoin would be today if it was launched, just a lot more advanced and with a string of extra tech on top of being decentralized and being proof of work. I would really encourage you to learn more about Ergo on the official website ergoplatform.org and connect with our social channels on X, Telegram, Discord, and more. It is all community run. There is no VC, big pre-mine, or any of the other noise. Just good tech and a great community in it for the long run. So if you are a moon boy, sorry my guy, wrong place. But today, I am not here to talk to you about Ergo and how great a blockchain it is, but rather how to set up your own DAO, which stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, on this great blockchain, and how we create one by using the Paideia app and its infrastructure. So before we dive into Paideia, let's just quickly touch on what a DAO is and why do we need it. A DAO, or Decentralized Autonomous Organization, is a blockchain-based entity with no central leadership, governed by a community, and rules encoded through smart contracts. Members, who often hold governance tokens, vote on proposals and decisions, giving token holders a say in how the organization is run and how its funds are managed. This structure allows for collective decision-making, transparency, and automation without traditional intermediaries. So you can see where I'm going with this. If you want to be truly decentralized, yet still steer development choices in finance or other decisive decision-making as an entity, a DAO becomes essential. In Ergo, even our own foundation, which was known as the Ergo Foundation and has been running side by side with Ergo as a blockchain, and its development is in the transition and handover period to the community where choice and governance will be handled by DAO, not just a select view. Now, this is just one of many examples of how and what for a DAO could be used. So let's dive into Paideia, and I'll show you another and the process required to set up your next DAO and govern trust lists. So recently I set up a DAO called Autolykos, where we concept ideas and then seek funding to build these tools on Ergo as blockchain. Members in Autolykos both govern the DAO as entity and become shareholders as investors in Autolykos, and the revenue it generates according to the amount of Autolykos they hold, which is determined by their investment. We will use the screen recording from when I did the setup for Autolykos and go through the process of how to set it up if you are looking to do your own. Now, first things first, to set up a DAO on Paideia, you will need to have a wallet on Ergo, which you can find all the options for on the official Ergo website, ergoplatform.org, by simply clicking on the Wallets tab. Here you will find a list of options, but really the three most used options would be Ergo Pay for mobile application, Nautilus for desktop, or Sat Ergo if you would like to have a wallet on your desktop and run a full node, which is the most secure and decentralized way. You can also use all three of these on different devices with the same wallet mnemonic, as they all have different functions and use cases for time and place. I know I do. Now, once you have your Ergo wallet and you have gotten your hands on some ERG, which you can find on many exchanges, of which the list is also available on the website, or just on-ramp through Banksa, which is now also built into Nautilus Wallet for a streamlined experience, or by simply visiting their website, you can now easily purchase ERG from fiat in a matter of seconds. Once you have done so, head over to a DEX, as you will need to swap some of your ERG to Paideia as well, which is the official utility token of Paideia, and for this I use Mew Finance, which is really my go-to for many things, from DEX to NFTs or funding and much more. The super team of two over there are really building great things for us in the Ergo community, and one can only tip your hat and perhaps some ERG to them to show some love. When you are on Mew Finance, simply connect your wallet, scroll down, and launch the DEX. On there, you will be able to swap your ERG for a range of assets. In our case, we are looking for Pi. Now, to set up your own DAO, you don't need too much. As a matter of fact, I am yet to see a blockchain where you can start a DAO at a lower cost. You will need 50,000 Pi, which at the time of recording is around 110 ERG, and then a couple of ERG, let's say 10 for transaction, smart contract, and fees. I would advise to get a bit of extra Pi, as you would need these for your staking and voting rounds over an extended period of time. All in all, I would say if you purchase around 55,000 Pi and hold 10 ERG in your wallet, you are good to go. Now, once you have acquired some ERG and hold Pi as well, there is just one more step before heading to Paideia, and that is to mint your official token to be used by the DAO. Here you would need to spend some time thinking how your token will be used, what it is for, and what role it will play. For example, will members of the DAO be staking and receiving additional tokens as reward? Or will there be a lower fixed supply and perhaps each member just holds one token equally and uses it to vote? Here the use case per DAO will differ, but you'll figure it out, or probably already did. If not, I would advise to take some time and make sure you have given this part some thought, as once your DAO is set up and tokens minted, that can't be undone in the same way one can't suddenly add more ERG to the max supply or change the emission schedule because we wanted to. Now, to mint your token, you can just hang around on Mew Finance after purchasing your Pi and simply scroll down to Ergo Tools, which will take you to the page where you can mint your own new token. Now, here you have some options on which kind of token you wanted to mint, from picture to video, NFTs, and so on. But for our example, we just need the good old faithful token. Next, you set the name and description of your token, followed by the quantity you decided on, and then lastly, the decimals you decided on. Decimals is simply to say to which decimal you want your token to be rounded off to. For my token on Autolykos, I decided to set this to 2, which is the standard to most fiat currencies we use, and as we have a max supply of 1 million. So I think 2 is a pretty sound one to make things not too fractional or vice versa, but this is up to you. There we go. Good. Now we are ready to head over to Paideia and get our DAO set up at paideia.im, which is their official website, and it should look something like this. Before heading to the app, have a scroll ready through what the platform is all about and explore the options and make sure you understand the basic framework of how things run. You can find more under About as well, where you can explore the team, their token, or deep dive into the white paper and what makes Paideia the animal it is. Now, once you have opened the app, you can select Getting Started, and this will take you to the official document vault on Ergo platform, where it will take you through the steps of what we are essentially doing. Otherwise, just follow along with the video, as this is in essence the steps we are doing, and you can always refer back to the docs if need be. Now back to Paideia. I will need to connect my wallet, which I have already done, and once you did so, you can then select Create My Own DAO. Now you will see that all my steps has been completed already. Now this is quite a cool feature should you be stuck as you do, and first want to check some facts and revert, as it will save your input from the wallet address tied to it. So not to worry if you become stuck, you can always revert and finish up later. So basically these are the 4 steps you need to do, and once you did so and hit publish, your DAO will then show up on the home page where all other published and existing DAOs on Paideia can be found. Even Paideia itself is governed and run on its own system. Here we can see proposal that has been created and voted on, the amount of members part of the DAO, the token price, max supply, market cap, and ticker, as well as view the activity of any member of the DAO from comment to publishing a discussion or proposal. On the side pane, I can view my proposals and those of others, find more info on my DAO token, and view its trading chart, see the total supply versus the max supply, and a bunch of extras if you need them. Very important, you can head into the treasury, and this is in essence a wallet the DAO owns and votes upon. So all assets within the treasury, like your token supply, not in circulation, profits, revenue, or any other, can only be accessed and come into circulation through a vote of the members of the DAO, and as specified within the parameters you set. You can head down to members, and here you can view all members who have joined the DAO, and though anyone can view it, to officially become a member of the DAO, you have to, first off, at least hold their official token in your wallet, and secondly, to partake in voting and governance. Here you can view the DAO name and description, profile display, profit share percentages, and staking cycle lengths, parameters for our voting system to pass, and quorum, as well as length of a staking cycle, and much more. So here you can make configuration changes if you believe for them to be better for the DAO, or just because the way the DAO runs has changed over the course of time, and then submit these as a formal proposal. And guess what? If your proposal is voted for by favor of the members of the DAO and its existing parameters, well, then those measures put in place by you and proposed are now the new standard upon which your DAO operates. You even have the option to terminate the DAO, but let's hope, despite the volatility in our space, that it never comes to that and you experience a long and prosperous journey. Now back to setting up our DAO now that we know all these things and in essence how Paideia runs and operates. Click on Create DAO and head through to the simple 5 steps it requires. As I said, I already pre-filled these for Autolykos when I was setting them up, but we are going to run through them, which will be the same process you will follow. First off, you enter your desired name for your DAO, and this will automatically create you a unique URL on the Paideia app, which will be the home URL for your DAO. Next, you can fill in your descriptive overview of up to 250 characters, which best describes your DAO and what you do. Lastly, in the first step, we will have to tie our token we have minted earlier on to our DAO by specifying its token ID, which you can find within your wallet or on ERG Explorer, and list it as the official token to be used for the DAO. Next up is our token staking configuration. Here we can specify the emission amount, emission delay, profit share percentage, and staking cycle duration. And you can find more info by selecting Learn More to find out what each of these does and the purpose they serve. If you are stuck, reach out to the team on Telegram on the official Paideia group, which is simply at Paideia DAO, and I'm sure Louis Vatra or a member on the group will steer you in the right course if need be. Now, for us as Autolykos, I left our emission amount and profit share percentages at 0 and set the staking cycles to 12 weeks. As with our token, we don't earn staking rewards, but it is rather a utility token through which we govern according to quantity you hold versus in circulating supply, and serves as investors share according to the amount of revenue we generate and grows in treasury. Now, if you run like Paideia itself or a proof of stake like Cardano, then here is where you will enter staking rewards for those who stake and hold your token. Next up, we will set our governance and voting configuration. Here there are 2 main sliders: support needed on single choice voting and quorum. Once more here, each DAO quantity will differ according to its use case and depending on how active members participate within the DAO. Setting values too high might mean that if members are inactive, you struggle to pass a vote. Yet too low, you can more easily pass a vote if only a couple voted. You can also set the minimum duration proposals can be voted upon. So even though your values to pass a vote might be low, at least your duration can be longer in that case to make sure that all members had time to view the proposal and cast their vote, and something did not just pass under the radar. Now, for us, I set the value of support needed on the vote to 65%, which is quite high. But then again, as we are building a DAO, which in essence members are investing funds in, it is important that we have consensus in which direction we are growing and investing our time and money towards. Our quorum value I set to 25%, meaning at least 25% of the members on the DAO must vote for a proposal to be passed or rejected. I think this is a healthy rate if you get members over time that do not always participate, but to still also make sure that at least a healthy portion of the investors do need to partake, and there is numbers in autonomy and not singularity. Lastly, we can set our participation weight. Now, as referred to earlier, it is here where you will decide whether a member's vote counts according to the amount of tokens they hold, or if a member's vote counts the same either or. Now, for us as a venture capital collective, I felt it important that a member's vote counted as much as they have invested, even if it does mean we have a whale or majority shareholder. At the end of the day, that individual has put down a significant amount of value to acquire that share and rightfully deserves the amount of say or share he has in the matter and where he invested his funds, like in any business and company share scenario. Now, for other DAOs like e.g. the Sigmanauts and or their mining group, it may differ. And no matter how small or big part you play as a miner or Sigmanaut, your vote is your vote, and we are all equal in the community from that view. Then finally, there is light in the tunnel, and the tech gurus did not forget about us creatives out there. In your final step before reviewing your DAO, you get to set your DAO logo, its banner, and add some info to the footer if you want to display your social platforms. And there you have it. There we are through all the steps to setting up our DAO from where it was at the start. So now I can select publish, and this will take me through to the confirmation page, and now my Nautilus wallet opens to confirm the transaction. And I can officially see that the total cost involved for setting up my DAO will be just over 8 Ergi, 50,000 Pi, and 0.01 Lykos, which is the smallest decimal my token allows, and is required for the smart contract to be bound to my specified token. So below we can see a breakdown of the payment, and then all that will be needed is for me to sign my wallet and the DAO will be created. At the time of recording, I was not quite ready to publish yet and only did so a bit later on, so I just canceled the contract. But here is our created DAO with those settings I then signed and confirmed later upon. As you can see, we are already operational in the interim. We have published 3 discussions already and have 34 members as part of the DAO already. Within our treasury, we have some ERG and surplus SIG-USD from our seed round, as well as all our Lykos tokens not in circulating supply governed over. And that's that, folks. It's as easy as that to set up your own DAO and start governance as a decentralized autonomous organization on Ergo by using Paideia. If you made it this far, I take it you're serious about Ergo, Paideia, or both. And I want to thank you for looking to build on a chain that is not just hype, but really has the potential to be so much in so many aspects. If what we are doing in Autolykos is of interest to you, check out our DAO on Paideia and find our social links at the bottom of the page. Alternatively, just go to autolykos.io, and there you can find a lot more info on what we are all about, with some info on our upcoming proposals, and browse around and find out more under our About or tokenomics pages to see what all the hype around Lykos is about. Well, that's it, folks. Thank you for sticking around. Let's continue to build for dear life and hold on to our convictions. Until the next time, stay classy, Ergo.